Alrighty, if you go to the Donald right now, if you were at the Donald right now when I went and made this, then you would see this as the number one post. It says, POTUS issues full pardon to John Ponder. You have John Ponder, if you've never heard of him. He is a former felon now who served some time, was arrested initially by FBI, served time, got out, did everything right. You'll hear his story. I want you to see the video, but we'll watch it together. And I want you to first understand that the president is pardoning people left and right here. I mean, left and right being 2 people in 3 weeks that we are aware of. But it's interesting that these pardons are becoming kind of regular. He's doing pardons for people that he's shown you before, people that he's exemplified as being of the movement, so to speak, people that he supports and agrees with. So I want you to watch this and then consider who else the president may be pardoning soon. But don't, before you worry yourself with that, because you know who we're all kind of thinking of and talking about, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, put it on like the Chuck E. Cheese comment section on the Yelp locally to you. And then let's check this out. This is Donald Trump pardoning John Ponder. I believe it kind of starts out with John's story, and then it gets into a couple of speeches that each of these guys make. We won't watch the whole thing because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but we'll watch a bit of it. And I'll
2 years ago, I was honored to tell John Ponder's story of transformation in the Rose Garden on the National Day of Prayer. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome him back to the White House. John's life is a beautiful testament to the power of redemption. John grew up without his father. As he tells it, my mother was strong, but she wasn't able to keep us out of the gangs and off of the streets, and they were violent streets. At the age of 38, he was arrested for bank robbery. While John was in prison, he began reading the Bible and listening to Christian radio. One day he heard Reverend Billy Graham on the radio proclaim, Jesus wants to be Lord of your life.
That's important.
On that day, John dedicated his life to Christ. He spent the rest...
Yeah, for the lefties watching this, or if anyone watches this that's a lefty, or they're thinking like, oh, I'm a conservative because it makes sense on paper, but I'm also, I don't believe in God. You ought to think about this. The number one thing that turned this man's life around was Jesus. Seriously. It wasn't going to prison and feeling beaten up. No, people go to prison all the time and feel beaten up. Doesn't do it for him. He accepted Jesus into his heart and into his life. And that was enough. That was what did it. That was what opened him to then saying, well, I got to go read the Bible. Which then opened up a bunch more doors for him. So that is all I'm saying here, is that just wanted to point that out. You don't go to prison to hit rock bottom, to then turn your life around. That's not it. People go to prison, and that's not the lesson they learn. They sometimes don't learn a lesson at all. They stay there, or they go back. Recidivism is very high. We're talking about this guy saying, Jesus, please be in my life. I want to know you, and I want you to be in my life. That's enough. Anyways.
The rest of his time in prison studying the Bible. When he was released, he heard a knock at his door. It was the officer who put him in jail, FBI Special Agent Richard Beasley.
Okay, now, if you don't already think that God works in mysterious ways, hear that. The agent that arrested him, the day that he's released, shows up and says, hey, I just want to let you know I've been praying for you. And the whole time, he didn't know that he had found God. So together, they've been praying for him, and boom. Come on.
Who said, I want you to know that I've been praying for you. Now, Richard and John are best friends, and we are grateful that Richard is here with us today. In the last 10 years since John was released, he has created one of the most successful reentry programs, Hope for Prison.
They're best friends. And now Richard, the agent, set up an agency that helps people get out of prison if they've done less, or if they can, do well, if they can re-enter society well and stay in society correctly and without more criminality, sin, whatever you want to call it.
Prisoners in Las Vegas. I was glad to speak there earlier this year. As John says, Hope for Prisoners is a movement that began as a dream in a tiny prison cell and is now making a difference in the lives of thousands, truly bringing hope that there is an opportunity and a community that is waiting and willing to offer them a second chance. John, we honor your devotion to showing returning citizens that they are not forgotten.
Amen.
We believe that each person is...
Now look, if you don't know, the Hope for Prisoners movement is getting people, not movement, but organization, program, is to educate people. Did you know that Biden passed a law that said it was illegal to educate prisoners? It was illegal. If you were in a federal prison or in a state prison under Biden, you were not allowed to get a higher level education. You could not earn a degree. You could not earn credits towards a degree. You can get a GED and something like that, but you would never be able to get a higher level education while in prison. It was illegal. Why? Because they don't want a modern day slave population in the United States to be educated so that they might be able to get themselves out. And sure enough, here you have John Ponder.
Made by God for a purpose. I will continue to give all Americans, including former inmates, the best chance to build a new life and achieve their own American dream, and a great American dream it is. Now I'd like to ask John and Richard to say a few words.
Well, if you want to go and watch that, you can. I don't want to get a copyright strike. I'm not going to show you the whole video. It's here on thedonald.win. If you don't know what the Donald is, then you ought to go. If you don't know, now you know. You ought to go and check it out. It's pretty sharp. It's a decent little website. There it is, thedonald.win. Check it out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment below. Make sure you share this video on a MySpace website or on a Pottery Barn comment section or in the comment section of your local newspaper. That's a good idea because that'll vary. So do that. Find your local newspaper and be like, hey, I now listen to, America Floats or the Salty Cracker or a number of other people, Tim or Adam or, good Lord, numbers of people. You tell me in the comments. I would love some recommendations. Who else should I be listening to and watching? Let me know. Otherwise, do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.